Paul, thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, London Romans were a team 5 years ago. It's now been taken over by Millwall Community Trust and Millwall Football Club. Just talk us a little bit about that journey. It must have been a pretty special journey. You've won loads and loads of titles under both teams, but just talk it in your own words.
Sure, yeah. I can't believe it's been 5 years, to be honest. We obviously, we were a North London-based club, playing in a bit of a grotty pitch up in Wood Green, and we wrote an article for the London FA, and then that stemmed from us coming to meet Sean Daly at the Community Trust. We had COVID in the middle, which was a little bit frustrating, but it's been the best thing we could have done. I'm not going to lie, we were a bit apprehensive about Millwall as a club and if that was the right fit for what we were looking for, but I can honestly say it has been the best thing we've ever done. The club are immensely supportive of us. The numbers have obviously doubled in size. We've got another team, and with Millwall, they, anything that we want, it's like, well, come and ask us what we can do. I think one thing I always remember Sean saying to me when we first met, back in the end of 2019, I think we actually met Sean. And he said, I want you to feel part of this family. I want you to come in, I want you to feel part of the Millwall family. We want you to wear the kits, we want you to wear the tracksuits. And that always resonated with me, and I have to say he has delivered on his word. We really, really feel part of this Millwall family.
And since you've started, what's been your favourite memory? There must be loads, but if you could pick one out, what would you go for?
Yeah, I think for me, I think it was the first time I actually visited St Paul's, the sports ground where we train and play the games, and it was just after lockdown. We sort of knew we were joining up with a Millwall partnership, and it was a Wednesday night. It was bright outside because it was nice, like summer's day, and I just remember walking onto the middle of St Paul's sports ground. We'd just been given all our tracksuits, and we've started training. I think at that point, there was only about 12 of us, to be honest, and just looking around at this immense facility over Canary Wharf, seeing all the guys in the Millwall gear, and I just remember that being a real spine-tingling moment of, wow, this is really something special. Yeah, so I always remember that one. I remember our first game there as well. I think we played all through that summer as well. Every Sunday we managed to get the pitch, and it was just a really lovely experience playing at Fisher's Ground, on that immense pitch.
And let's talk about some stuff that's happened since as well. Obviously, a famous commercial sponsorship now with the Romans. You've been in many newspapers, national newspapers around the country, as well as taking part in the Olympics as well. Just how's that been for you? Yeah, it's been incredible. It's just opened up so many opportunities for us, and I don't think we expected it would get some publicity, but for what it's actually gone through in the last few years, I think Sky Sports picked up originally. We had an interview with The Sun, and then last year with the Romans, who have been an immense sponsor for us. They've been incredible, and again with their help, it's allowed us now to plan a trip to Lyon this year at the European Gay Games. We're entering a team in there. It's the first time in Romans history that we've ever actually been all the way together as a team, and I think that's just really then created a lot more buzz around the club. Obviously the Times featured a really nice piece in there, and the Romans are really great guys. We get on really well with them, and they're exactly what we're about. We want to create this safe space for footballers, LGBT footballers, to come and play the game that they really love. And what are your next steps as Millwall Romans? I'm sure you've got plenty of things planned, but can you sort of give us a little insight of what your plans are next? Yeah, we're looking at next year. So we've got Lyon coming up in the summer. That'll be fun. Hopefully entering a good team into that. Next year we're looking to potentially enter the GFSN League, which is the Gay Football Network Supporters League. We haven't done that for, it must be 10 years now. And again, because of Millwall supporting us, we've got the minibus that we can run around the country and play all these teams. So our plan next year is going to be to enter the National League and the National Cup, as well as playing in the London League and the London Cup. And touching on a little bit more personal note now, just what obstacles have you encountered along the way, and have you got through them? Yeah,
I think as an LGBT person growing up, it's when you hit that sort of mid-teens almost here, and you start realising that things are not, as what is a better phrase, normal. I think you then go into a world where you're playing a character almost of yourself every day, because I grew up with some great friends, but they never knew until I was about 23, 24. And I think something like football, it just brings everyone quite close together. And I was always I've been playing football since I was 5 years old. And I think with football, you know, you go on holiday, you meet people, it's who do you support, who do you follow, could you believe they've sold them, can you believe, and it just kind of unites people in a strange way, and also disunites people, but in a different way. And I think for me, as an LGBT person, you struggle to make LGBT friends that are also similar. And I've been playing at this club now since 2011, and it was the best thing I could have done, because you meet people like-minded like you, who are just exactly the same as they would be. They play football, they drink beer, they watch football in the pub, but they happen to like people of the same sex. And without that connection, you're never gonna, it's really difficult to make friendships like that. And we've been friends for years. Loads of them came to my wedding a few years ago, and we'll just be friends forever. And without that connection, I wouldn't have had that.
And finally, whose stories have had the greatest impact on you in terms of LGBT representation in sport?
Yeah, I think Jake Daniels, obviously coming out when he was at Blackpool, I think that's a huge thing for us as a community, and I think I take my hat off to him. I think that was a very brave thing to do. He was only young, I think he was 19 when he came out. I think incredibly brave thing to do, and I do think someone like Tom Daly. I think he's just a character that is just himself, you know. And I think he seems a lot more happy now. He's come out, and he just wants to be himself. He's in sport. He really advocates all sport and fitness. And yeah, I think those two have done really well for us.